All right, folks, we're back for another one. Welcome to another episode of the Uncommon Man podcast. I'm David. This is my guy here, Mike.
Hey there.
Tonight we're doing another Yap session. Mike was just filling me in on his, I guess, would you call it a degenerate middle finger right
Yeah,
now at this
yeah,
point?
it is.
This is a degenerate. This is like the second fuck up with this finger. So at
Dude,
this
this
point,
thing,
we don't call it degenerate.
right? Yeah, dude, it's been an absolute hell every step of the way. Like, just to get people a rundown, I ended up leaving my job at offshore drilling, and in the process of while I was working there, I was one of the statistics who ended up getting injured on the job, and it costing me three different fingertips specifically that I got an insurance settlement for. But it was because of ineptitude and supervision. The guy put me in a really bad predicament. And in the process of it, even though I argued with him about the safety concept, he still was just determined to do so, and it ended up costing me a couple fingertips. So it got to a point with the company where I just didn't like being there anymore, and we pretty much kind of parted our separate ways. But it enabled me to go back. The timing was perfect because Brittany was able to get on, finish up her degree. Brittany's my wife, in case anybody's curious. And she was able to get on, finish up her degree, which enabled
Hmm.
me to go back, finish using my GI Bill. So that's why, if any of you guys watched one of the Broncos episodes where I did atrocious math, I kind of made a pop shot at myself about engineering. So I love offshore drilling. Great career field. I love the community of it. I'm going back into it, but this time I'll be with an education behind me instead of just being, a constant bum who's always having to work his ass off. Not the blue collars bad or anything, but I've just been doing it for 15, 20 years, and I'm ready to actually like sit back and have someone else do the work and me come up with the quality assurance issues.
Yeah, man. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, you just want to put yourself in a better position. You want to put yourself in a leader position. So next time shit like that doesn't happen, or try to prevent as much bullshit like that as possible.
Yes. Well, and the other thing about it too is I realized it was time to get out while the getting was good. Like everybody that I work with there, and this is why I'm so grateful for the job. I have no animosity towards the building. The employees were all awesome. Obviously not that guy who got me got me injured, but everybody else, like I said, they were a family to me because we'd work when you're in offshore drilling, dude. You're working 14 to 16 hours a day, 7 days a week. So they're basically your family, and yeah, like I said, I'm just at a point in life where it's like I was the youngest on the team, which is
Hmm.
crazy to think. I'd say the average age was like 38, 39 ish.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I'm about to say. Because I mean, we're not young dudes. So when you're
Right.
like, "Oh, well, I'm the youngest person on the fucking team," I was like, "Fuck, old people."
Yeah. So and it just kind of it's one of those epiphany moments where you're just sitting there going, well, I'm still young enough. These guys are working their asses off into their 40s doing the same labor job. Like
Hmm.
I got someone that's paying me for my education. All I got to do is just not screw it up. Um, so I'll go back and do that. And then the other thing about too, you and I we bring a lot of industrial experience or even industry experience,
Hmm.
just because we've been around the block for so long. So, I mean, that's one of the other great things about it. Plus, once you get to the age of 25, man, especially as a guy, like that's where the majority of men figure it out. It's like, okay, this is the path that I'm trending down. This is the route I'm going to take. This is where I need to metaphorically shit or get off the pot and figure out how I'm really, really going to be able to provide for myself and my family. And because of it, this is where I want to invest my career path to. Because before that, I mean, let's not kid ourselves. You're bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. I mean, you're still only 4 years off of being able to drink legally. So
Hmm.
there's still a lot of life underneath you. But I mean, 30 years old, I like I said, I realized that it's a different day and age when it comes to the level or the what what age people are having to work at nowadays to try and make ends meet. And it's like the education just seems to be a real prominent thing to be able to
Yeah.
bypass all that shit.
Well, me and you talked about this. I don't know if it was like a couple podcasts ago or just in just general bullshitting us talking to where do you want to be when you're 40? Where do we want to be when we're 50? And now kind of seems like the prime time now to kind of start rectifying, start going down certain paths that where it's going to set us up here in the next 20 years. Because, kind of like my goal is when I turn 50, like, dude, I don't want to be working the way I am now. Fuck that. Like, I got to figure out a new hustle at, at this point in my life. So, just like you're going to school, I'm going back to school as well. I'm picking up different things. I'm learning new things just so nobody can hold me back to where I can always feel like, okay, I can always take a step forward. Even if one day I decide like, hey, I don't like what I'm doing, fuck it. I have other tools under my belt to where I can go do something else. To where I don't have to work as hard as I had been in the past.
So why don't you go ahead and disclose to everybody exactly what your game plan is for that? Because I mean, you can't. It, uh, this is a lot of people just think that you said a good word. Let me put it this way: you said a good quote a couple episodes back, where you got to think it into existence, kind of deal. Well, a lot of people just think that they're going to be able to retire by 50, and then the harsh reality hits you once you hit 50 and realize that you don't have a pot to piss in.
Yeah.
So you and I feel like we both have a good game plan, but I mean, I would love for you to impress upon exactly what it is that you are enacting right now to be able to have that potential for retiring at 50, or at least, like you
Uh-huh.
said, at least laying off the throttle to where you're not killing yourself every single day.
Right. So, kind of a little bit of my backstory. So, right now, I'm currently working two jobs, because I could get by just working my one, but there were things that I wanted to do, things that I wanted to accomplish, and me, I'm a type of person like I got to make it happen now. I don't want to wait 5, 6 years down the road because I've wasted 5, 6 years. So I got to do it now. So I started working another job, and it's been a little bit over 2 years now. And so, without going into too much, because who knows who's listening on the other side, so I have to be real careful about certain things. So, a lot of what I'm doing now is learning different things to where, again, if in a few years I feel like, hey, this isn't working, this isn't where I want to be, I can always cut bait. That's why I've always worked more than one job, is because at any point you feel like, hey, this isn't it, you keep bumping heads with management, they're kind of dogging you out, they're not giving you your promotion that you deserve or that you worked hard for, hey, cut bait, leave, go somewhere else, because you know what, you have another source of income, but then you can take that experience and knowledge that you have, you can take that and go somewhere else and run with it. So that's kind of like a lot of what I'm doing now. When we talk about setting yourself up so at 40 and 50 you don't have to work as hard, revenue streams. Okay, me and Mike, we talk about this all the time on the podcast. Our investments and different things like that. Hey, now is the time. Okay, fuck all the bullshit spending, and that's why that's why I talk to people a lot. The bullshit spending. Hey, cut this shit out. Okay, take that money that you're spending on all this bullshit and invest it into something that's going to actually make you some money. I've literally cut out all non-essential spending. Okay, I don't buy clothes. For what? I work all the time. I'm not going to wear it. Okay, I try to cook at home as much as I can, and that's been a lot more now. So since a lot of things have been shut down, restaurants has been shut down, we haven't went and eaten out at a restaurant in months because all we do is cook at home. I take my lunch to work, just different things like that. So I'm constantly saving money, and the money that I'm saving, I'm putting it into something that's going to, in 10, 15, and 20 years, hey, I'm gonna have something to where I don't have to work as hard anymore.
I love it, dude. So let's go ahead. I think that you're going to be able to relay this better than I would. And
Uh-huh.
honestly, I just love getting your opinion on it. So, what's your game plan with your real estate?
Um, you know, I have a ideal number in mind, but just overall, my overall goal is I want checks. Okay. I want to be able to sit back and watch that revenue come in. Okay. So so that way, again, I can cut out something. Okay. Me working two jobs, that's no longer. I'm about to purchase a lot here in a few months, and then we're gonna just build a house on there. I'm not gonna stay in it. I'm somebody else is gonna stay in it. I'm not. We're
So
working on.
you're gonna rent it out, right?
I haven't decided yet. I haven't decided that if it's going to be one of those build and sell or build and rent. I
Rent,
don't know.
bro.
Yeah.
There's
Well, the I think I can do either or and come out pretty good ahead. Definitely rent is probably going to be the number one option starters, but we just kind of have to see how it go. It's in a different developing city that I'm currently not in. So a lot of that stuff I have to weigh out too because but of course you do it. You're all the way in Houston and you have your house still here in Sherwood. So it's just different things like that that you have to kind of weigh the pros and cons. But I think either way we go, it's going to be a win. I mean,
agreed. Yeah,
and dude, the lot cost me nothing. It cost
nice.
me nothing. I mean, dude, land is so cheap in some places. It's ridiculous. I mean, it costs you what, a couple $1,000s, and I
Yep.
mean, you could just save that on the fly, not buying clothes, not buying the non-essential shit, and just boom, buy it, drop the cash for it, and just go, bro.
Dude, like being frugal is the number one thing you get. Oh, hey, awesome. Beer me.
Pyramid.
Beer me. So being frugal, dude, is literally the best thing that you could ever possibly do. And this is coming from someone who was a frivolous spender for years. I
Hmm.
mean, you look at just all the shit we have. Thank you. You look at all the shit we have. Um, like we've got a lot of nice stuff, but none of the stuff we have is expensive. So
Hmm.
you made some really crucial points there. Just especially when it comes to like clothes. I don't think I've bought any new clothes in about 2 years. And when I do buy new clothes, it's just because everything that I have
Hmm.
has either turned into a work project shirt at some point in time, or there's huge ass holes in the armpits.
Hmm.
Um, she's back there laughing because she knows it's true. Um, Dude, my closet is not thick with stuff. That's one of those things not important to me. But like my hobbies, obviously, as we've talked about a whole bunch of times on here, is working on cars and stuff like that. So I've pissed a whole bunch of money away on car parts over the years. I've learned a lot from it, but now it's at the point of where it's like I have, I've, I've been able to be patient enough to find the correct car that I wanted. I knew what my game plan. I had a vision, which was to start building the car to where I wanted it to be. And like you said, it just takes a lot of sacrifice. And like I said, I cannot impress upon the word patience enough because now we have a very nice vehicle. I've had a bunch of offers on it, and it's like I'm not here to buy the next new car. I've had the new cars. The new cars don't last.
Yeah,
They're you.
true.
I just feel like there's no real sentimental value to them, so you can just turn and flip them. But at that point in time, you're still paying. Not only are you paying the $500 to $1,000 a month payments, but you also got to pay another 200, 300 per car on insurance on top of that. So you're fucking pissing away a rent payment every single month on something. Yeah, you drive back and forth to work daily, but it's not. You can go spend $5,000 and get a crap loan for that for another car. It's got 80,000 to 100,000 miles on it on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist, and it's just as reliable. Just because that other jerk off wanted to go ahead and upgrade to the new vehicle when they traded it in, So,
Hmm.
so there's certain things that I feel like have become really quintessential for how we invest our money as well. And
Hmm.
the cool thing that you and I have been doing recently is taking advantage of the fact that the economy is in the tank and really kind of playing the Russian roulette game with the stocks. But the
Yeah.
difference between that is the fact that like when stocks are an all time low, if you know the company's not going under, if you buy the stocks in them, there's nothing that's going to happen except for it going up at some point in time. You know, I mean,
Right.
they literally have hit rock bottom. So, um, but the number one thing, and if anybody's listening to me, the best thing that you can ever do for a house is be patient and sit on it while letting someone else make your mortgage payment, and that translates to the word rent. Because like even that house in Sherwood, I could sell it for more than what we bought it for right now. But at the same time, I've got someone every single month that's literally paying my mortgage for me. I get to write off anything that happens at house in my taxes, and we get fully reimbursed for it. So if we get a new set of renters in and I uproot all of the old crappy carpets out and replace them, I get to write that whole stinking thing off. We get the whole return back. I did $5,000 worth of pool renovations 2 years ago for the last renters. I got all $5,000 of that back just because of the fact that it's investments, and a lot of people don't do it. They just do. They see like, hey, look, I can buy this house, and if it doesn't work out and I move, I can just sell it, and then someone
Yeah,
else's
just dump
problem.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, someone else's problem. It's like, well, dude, if you just you already know it's your house, and if you're built like you and I are, where it's like, this is my property, so I'm going to take care of it. You already have that halfway sentimental value / emotional connection to it. So because of that, it's already not the easiest to just walk away from something like that. But it's even better when you know that you're giving your house, like something that's your property, to the next person with integrity behind your name, and they become the stewards of it. And at that point in time, not only is it's really low risk for you because the insurance is cheaper as well for the homeowners, which is crazy. You think it'd be astronomical in comparison, but it's actually cheaper to have homeowners for renters. And then on top of that as well, like I said, the key is they pay your mortgage. So it's like it's all pocketed money. You gotta ride the tide. But from this point, they're just seeing how much revenue we've had coming in, and how much it's helped us be able to buy our boat, to be able to work on the Supra and be able to get all the stuff done to that, to be able to do modifications to my pickup truck, to be able to build this huge ass house that we're in the process of doing, as well as the large property. Like, these are all things that it just takes investment and time, but it's the key word is patience, dude.
Yeah. Well, I want to say one thing, and I want a lot of people to really pay attention to this, is look where you're at now and look where you want to be in 10, 15, 20 years or whatever.
Nice.
And you got to ask yourself, what am I doing to get there? Okay. So first start there. Okay. What am I doing to get there? What can I cut out? What can I eliminate? Because a lot of times I hear people, because, you know, I'm a sales manager and I interview people all the time, and I'm constantly talking to people. And, I ask people, hey, what do you see yourself doing in the near future? Just to kind of get an idea of, hey, where's this person head at? And, people just rattle off just ideals that they have and just go and go and go and go and go. And then after I work with them for a while, I realized like your expectations does not match your behavior, your work ethic, spending habits and stuff like that. It doesn't match each other. So you really have to look at, okay, where I want to be. Does my behavior match it? Does my spending match it? I mean, because people want to own all this stuff. I mean, dude, when you're just pissing away money just down the drain, unless you got a rich uncle or aunt or grandparents or something, I don't know, dude. It's gonna be a little tough. So start by looking at what you're doing now and see what can you do to improve for the near future.
Trust fund, baby.
Yeah, trust me, I ain't that guy. But so that's why we got to work the way we work. We just some uncommon blue collar Joes that's working to improve our situations.
So I think that you and I both hit on a really, really cool thing this week, and that is, obviously you're a lot more indoctrinated with the investment market than I am.
Uh huh.
My biggest deal is I finally started getting some excess capital gains in, so I've been able to flip that money and put it over into my Robinhood app. So like I said, neither one of us are wealthy. But we are making a vested interest to set ourselves up for success in the future. But the cool thing about it was we had a nice discussion this week about a specific stock that,
Yeah.
well, from the outside looking in, I mean,
Yeah.
if you just follow the trends of it, this one looks like it's a real moneymaker. I mean,
Right.
something that you're going to go to, Edward Jones or something like that, and they're like, you need to invest now, and you're in the process. I mean, when you're dummies like me, and which is horrific considering I work with numbers all day. But I don't know shit and shoved in it about finances. So I just do what I do the best I can with what knowledge I can try and accumulate throughout just doing research. But we were sitting there talking about this stock investment, and you came up with a word that just really fucking threw me through a loop.
So, okay, so let me give you some context to this. So one of my associates, me and him really have started talking about this, and he knows my background, so he'll run a lot of stuff by me just to kind of see. I don't know if he's testing me to kind of see, well, is his background really true or whatever. I don't know what he's doing. So we started talking about this one day. So I don't know. So me and him started talking.
Circulating, fuck him in the grand
Nah, man, he's a good kid. Nah, he's a good kid. So one day, me and him, we started talking about it, and we both came to the understanding, like, hey, now is the time. Everything is in the shitter. Now is the time to do it. And so daily, he'll come to me about different stocks, and I will analyze it for him, and I would give him my opinion. So I was just sitting in my office, just swiping through YouTube, and he came in. He was like, hey, boss. He's like, I got a stock for you. I was like, okay, what's up? What you got? And he told me the name of it. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Dude, yeah.
So it's called Gush. I was like, what?
I swore up and down it was a porn website when you first sent it to me.
So I was like, okay. And he was just like, so apparently he was talking to somebody else, and they was like, hey, this is the uncovered gem that nobody wants you to know about, that everybody's buying in on. So it was like a guy selling you snake oil right off the bat.
Right.
So he was just like, hey, he was like, look at it and kind of, talk to me about it. So I looked through just the basic statistics that you see on any stock, and I saw the 52-week high was $3,200. I was like, okay. But the stock was trading at what? When I sent it to you, it was trading at $40 a share.
What's the catch? Yeah, right.
Right. So I was like, okay, this is interesting. So then I looked back to the 3 month, the 6 month, the year. I even went back 5 years on this company. They were 5 years ago, they were at $7,200 per share. So I was like, okay, this is interesting, but something is wrong here. Yeah. Because for you to go from $7,200 a share down to 40, something is up with this. Okay. So I've heard throughout my time in college of stock splits. Companies do it often. They'll split a stock. They'll do like a 2-for-1, something like that. It's not uncommon. Okay, if you play around in the stock market, but these people do reverse splits, which I was like, whoa. I mean, I've heard about it, but it's not something that you talk about because a lot of people don't do it. So it's one of those things that you cover, but it's not like, hey, we're really going to go in depth on this. So what a reverse split is let's say you have 1,000 shares in a stock. They'll take 1,000 and they'll cut it to 500. So if you think about it, 5 years ago at $7,200 per share, and you have 1,000 shares, and they come in, they cut your shares from 1,000 to 500, brother, that's not good. And they've done this quite a bit. They've done it quite a bit over the years, and so for my taste and my spending and the way I like to invest, I was like hard pass on this. So I think that's something that people will need to understand as well, is when you're getting into this, do some research. Like this week, like so weekly, I make a weekly deposit into my investment fund. Okay. I did.
Same, by the way. We do
Yeah.
too.
So I didn't buy anything today. I didn't buy anything. I just
Yeah,
put the money in there. So
right.
when
We
I'm
did too.
ready, when I find something that I want, something that I'm interested in, and I've done my research on, then I can make a move on it. Or
There's your
if
piggy
it's
bank, by the way, for
so,
anybody that's sitting there doing that dollar in the jar thing.
yeah,
Here's another option: dollar in the stock market.
yeah, yes, something like that. I mean, when I first started, what I did was I took $5 and put it in, put $20 in, put $30 in. This was in a week, okay? Because all the things that I were cutting out, all the things that I was saving on, not eating lunch, not eating out for lunch, not buying this, not buying that. I just took that money that I gathered over the week and then I put it in there. You can do the same thing because that money is dedicated to something else. Okay. It's gone out of sight, out of mind. You just need to figure out, okay, what am I going to put it in? So, hopefully that's helpful for a lot of people because I mean we could have easily bought in. We could have easily been like, oh hell yeah, let's go.
Right.
$40, that's nothing. Nothing. We could have bought tons of shares of this. But with it being so volatile and so risky, not really how we like to play the game.
So I got it up in front of me right now, and this is what you sent me.
Mhm.
So they've had 6 splits in the history of this stock, and
They
out of
back to 98, right?
yes,
Yeah,
correct.
going back to 98. Mm-hmm.
So in the history of this, there has been 2 splits that have been beneficial to the investor, and the other 4 have not only not been beneficial, they have been detrimental to basically borderline bankrupting you.
Yeah.
So, and the last one was as recent as March 24th of this year, and it was a 1-for-40 reverse split. So, just
Yeah.
dude, that fucking
Shit.
dude, it's mortifying, bro. So
Whew.
put that. So think about that, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Let's say I got 40 shares initially in this company. That means after they took their fingers and dipped them in the pie, I have 1 share left.
Yes, that's no go. That's no go. And see, the kid that originally told me about this, somebody was selling him on the idea. So if he doesn't do his research, he's going to think this is the greatest thing ever.
Well,
And
he's young and impressionable, and
yeah,
I'm dumb. So had you not talked to me about that, I'd have been in the same damn boat as him. You know,
right.
I would have
Because
been like, "Bam, here's a fucking deal right here." Because I don't
yeah,
know, like I said, I don't know shit and shoved in it about this company. But luckily, I had you to lean on to be able to give me that area of expertise and say, "Hey, look, bro, you need to research this a little bit further and understand exactly what you're doing with these investments." So
right.
thank you to that. Thank you for that, bro.
Because I'm not stingy. Like, I mean, it's enough to go around for everybody. If I find something that I think is a good deal, or something that I think that hey, this is going to be beneficial long term, I share it. I don't give a fuck. I share it. I
Right.
don't care because I mean, what's the point of being stingy? I mean, dude, it's not my company. It's not like I'm going to be the only person that get rich off of it. Plenty of people is going to benefit. So fuck it, share it. So, but also, I'm the type of person to where if I think something is bad, I'm like, hey, dude, stop for a second, really look, really research. Hey, this is what I found. You may look at it a different way. Fine. Everybody has their different methods on how they go about this thing. Cool. But I thought I should share that for everybody so they can take that.
Dude, and like I said, man, it was so it was so impactful in my life because like I said, I was ready to drop a stack on this fucking thing just because I was sitting there. All I did was it's as easy as just googling
Mhm.
trends to sit there and say exactly like what you did earlier. All right, so at one point in time, this thing's max peak 5 years ago was at $7,200. That's like, well, on you know, just from a basic statistic standpoint,
Yeah.
if it's at $40 a share right now, and I throw $1,000 at this thing, even if this thing trends up to $1,000, I ended up making almost 40 grand off of it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So, but
Absolutely.
like you said, the biggest deal about it was the catch. But I mean, as being bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and a dummy when it comes to investing, I didn't know any better. So luckily I had you to lean on, but a lot of people don't. So that's another reason that we do these podcasts, is to sit here and try and hope that we can relay to people, and we can at least, reach them in a certain manner where they actually figure out different modes of research, like really doing thorough research, like do your homework. Like I know it's cliche and it's goofy, but do your homework. That's about the extent of it. So, so like you said, hard pass for that. But at the same time, like it was a great learning experience, especially for me and the dummy that I am. So, like I said, I appreciate you for that one, dude.
Hey man, I saved my man from jumping off a cliff that day.
Yeah. and in the process, I got another stack sitting in the fucking investment app right now, just waiting for the next hot number to come up where I can do exactly like what you said. Bam, invested
Ready to
right
rock
now.
and roll. Yep.
So, and that's another thing too, guys. So the way that the stock market trends, 10 o'clock in the morning is generally when the stock for the day is going to be at the absolute lowest. Sometimes it might be at the lowest for the week, but 10 o'clock is the best time to try and lock in any price for a stock, for your stocks. So don't buy in the afternoons. That's generally about modicum kind of deal. And if you invest at 8 o'clock in the morning, or 7:30, what would that be Eastern? 7:30?
Well, my time, yeah.
So 7:30 for us is when the market opens up. So what is that? 6:30 Eastern. If you're sitting there monitoring the market, it's always optimistic first thing in the morning. So it's gonna skyrocket, and then you're gonna be like, man, this is great. This is the day that
that puppy rolls first
Right.
as soon as it opens. That's when stuff is so volatile. So let it breathe for a second, and then go.
Exactly. Wait till 10 o'clock and watch every bit of semen drain completely out of your balls.
Oh yeah, gush, real quick.
Just cleans them out, and you're just sitting there left with that 30-second moment of going, man, I'm really glad I didn't make that mistake.
Yeah, that's for sure.
The enlightenment.
Yeah, but dude, I feel so fucking accomplished today. I paid off practically everything besides my student loan, which that's a bitch, and my car note. Everything else, is paid. Everything else is
buddy.
paid.
I'm so happy for you, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, and so people don't think about this as a investment. And I mean, it really kind of is. Is really investing in yourself. If you have a bunch of like credit cards, outstanding debts, and stuff like that, pay that shit off. That's like one of the best investments that you can make in yourself. Outside of like working out and being healthy, do shit like that. Pay shit off. So that way the extra $200-300 that I was paying every month to X, Y, and Z, I keep it now. I keep it. Then I can put that into my Robinhood account. I can save it. I can just put it in my bank account. Just little different things like that. Definitely do that. I feel so proud of myself today. I feel like a big boy.
Dude, I'm so fucking stoked for you.
I feel like a big boy. I've paid off so much shit today.
Dude, that made my week though, because like you're absolutely correct, man. There is no better feeling than not having to owe somebody. Like obviously you're always gonna owe Uncle Sugar, but at the same time, like if I don't owe some bank, some fucking money grubbing dickhole, just to, like you said, for my car note or whatever, if I have the title in my hand, I have the power at that point in time. So I can pretty much my life goal at this point is to live off the grid. I know it seems like a pipe dream in pretty much any world circumstance, but just what we're talking about right now, like game planning for it and investing properly, as well as not impulsive buying, living off the grid is a completely attainable goal. So, but that's exactly what we're doing right now, dude. We are consolidating down. We're getting rid of her car that she has that's newer, because oddly enough, like my
that
Prius,
Subaru tanked on it, right?
It's a fucking pile of dog shit, dude. Like we have had nothing but issues with this thing.
And
We
it's a
ordered
Subaru Forester, right?
it's a Subaru Forester XT, so it's fully loaded, dude. We have everything in it. We don't buy brand new cars. We order brand new cars. So we don't buy off the lot. We go in. We're like, hey, here you go. This is the car we want. These are the specifications we want for it because we don't. Like, I know it kind of sounds ridiculous to be talking out of both sides of our mouth here, but the fact that we talk out both sides of our mouth is why we can do this, or we can give you this information, is because we've made this mistake and we've tried to keep up with the Joneses.
Well,
So
at least if you do order it online, you don't have to order with some jerk off at the dealership. So
right.
I don't see anything wrong with that.
Well, but that's my biggest deal. Is like I'm not buying somebody else's build. I'm buying my build. So if I'm gonna go and spend $40,000 on a car, or if I know I'm gonna be investing in it for 45, investing, it's a shit investment. If I'm gonna be pissing my money away for 4 to 5 years, I'm at least gonna be doing it on something that I know I don't have to go back and scratch my head and be like, why didn't I do this? Why didn't I get that? Why didn't I get this modification?
But for
Why did I get this
wifey,
factory option?
dude, like you know, and it's funny to say, like, I don't expect my significant other to live the way that I live. I'm fine making the sacrifice myself so we can in return live better. If she wants to go buy whatever, hey baby, that's your thing. But at least one of us gotta be the frugal one. I wish she was, but hey, it is what it is.
Well, and that's what boned us. I mean, we've talked about this off air, but my biggest predicament is the fact I bought her this brand new car. So that way I knew for the next, however long it took us to pay off the note, that she was going to have a reliable form of transportation.
Right.
This thing is 3 different times now. It's left us stranded. I mean, it's caused damage to the vehicle because I got just taking it out the first week after, what was this, phase 1 enacted, where the not travel ban was lifted, the stay-at-home order was lifted. Dude, I got stranded in the middle of an intersection to a point of where a guy had to push me with his vehicle, and it messed up our rear bumper. But not only that, too, like it was on a Sunday, and we had to get the car towed to my house, and it's been stranded there ever since. And I can't have that, dude. Like, you mean to tell me my bucket Prius it's old as shit, we don't really owe anything on it, we're gonna pay it off in the next month or two, but I bought that just to get rid of another impulsive, or just to replace another impulsive buy that I'd bought, and I've loved every second of it, as faggoty as that may make me.
Gosh, miss that thing.
Dude, Prius is the
That's
best.
super
baby.
roll, baby. That's super. That damn super Prius roll.
The Prius, baby. But now we're in a point where it's like we're $700 invested in her piece of crap every single month, and it's just been an absolute hell. We've had that thing spent more time at the dealership than it has actually on the road. So we're abandoning it. We're sending that back to Subaru. We're working out the details with that, for them to just basically pay it off for us and just take it the fuck off our hands. And then we're going down to 2 cars. I have the title for my truck, so anybody that
faithful.
Right. Yeah. Oh, that thing's bulletproof, dude. I mean, I've neglected the hell out of it. I pretty much abandoned it for 2 years while I was stationed overseas, but I refused to get rid of it because it's an old diesel. So, and then the Prius, I mean, that thing's been grenade proof. So she's going to end up getting the Prius. And then all we owe at that point in time is just paying off 1 credit card. We've paid off all of our other debts, dude. And there's no better feeling than just watching your credit score skyrocket because of the fact that you don't owe people and you can just start fucking pocketing that money, man.
Yeah. Almost better than sex. Almost.
Oh, it's way better than sex, dude.
Almost.
Sex is so played out. So played out.
Yeah. Man, this is just our weekly Yap session. We just, we just try to give food for thought, and, if anybody listening to this, if you run across some of the same stuff that we're talking about, hey, share. Again, we want to create a community of people who have great ideals, like-minded, that can just share the feedback so we can potentially help somebody else out, because you never know, somebody else that may be in the kind of the same situation, that don't know how to get started, or may have questions about X, Y, and Z or whatever. And hopefully we can all come together and help, because I mean the ultimate goal for everybody is to live free. You know, that's one of my biggest things is do I want to be free from all the bullshit, free from all the restrictions, you know, live life on my terms. So,
I
hey,
love it, dude.
please comment, please like, share, subscribe, all that good shit.
Yeah, dude. And here's the coolest thing about it. You said the key word, and as per always, we're gonna reiterate it: community, baby. So if you guys reach out to us, we will. One, we're very good about contacting back, just because of the fact that everybody's opinion is important to us. As long as you're not coming in and just raining hand grenades on us, then we absolutely want to hear anything you have to say. And then the other thing is we try and give shout outs as much as possible, because there's so many people that just go under the radar and underappreciated. And, we've both been byproducts of that. Everybody has at some point in time in their lives.
For
So
sure.
in the process of this community, we want everyone to feel welcome. And so like I said, subscribe, make sure you follow us on Twitter, Uncommon Man Pod. Like I said, it's either myself or David that are on there all the time, tweeting back and forth. When we're not doing our Yap sessions, we're always talking about sports, primarily football, because that's what we're pretty keen on.
Yeah.
But we do discuss pretty much anything across the globe, minus cricket. I mean, that's super garbage. But like
And
anything else,
tennis. And tennis.
super garbage too.
Fuck that.
So, and bowling and golf, I'm sorry, those are not sports. So if you're turned off for that, that's fine. You can still like and subscribe, but we're not
Yeah.
going to talk about either one of those.
Not
So,
gonna talk about it. You're left out. Sorry.
so, all right, buddy. Well, man, it's been great talking to you, man. As per always, I guess we'll go ahead and drop the next one on Friday.
Well, that's to be determined.
Okay.
That's to be determined. So we'll kind of get a gameplay together, and we'll figure out the next time we want to sit down and yap.
Let's put it this way, guys. My life is back on track now. I'm not having to run back and forth doing 12-hour trips each way to help my parents move, as well as I'm not moving out of my house anymore. So we've got a little bit more stability going on, and we're going to have a consistent schedule coming back up, so that way you guys have a little bit of ear candy to listen to. But in the meantime, I think we need to go ahead and cash out for the night.
See ya. Peace
All right,
out.
buddy. Be
All
easy.
right.
Be safe.
All right. Later.